Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katy Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I'd love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So, if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout. All right, welcome back. I am very excited. We have an interview for you today on Inspired by Design. So I cannot wait to introduce you to Katy Fry. She is a creative entrepreneur, retreat facilitator, musician, educator, and alignment coach whose work blends performance, wellness, emotional healing, and aligned living. With more than 25 years of experience in theater, music, culinary arts, and holistic wellness, Katy now helps others reconnect to themselves through creative expression, nervous system healing, sound therapy, and transformational retreats through her companies Aqueous, Alignment, and Vocally Owned. And since we look through everything in the lens of human design on this podcast, I also want to introduce you to Katy as a generator. She has sacral authority and her profile lines are 2-4. What's that mean? Well, she's here to build a life doing things that she loves, that light her up, and that fully embody a hard yes and saying no or not right now to everything else. So she lives her life building and creating with the 2-4 profile. Oh my goodness. Everything that she's doing is so aligned, right? She uses her network. She's connecting to people. She has a vision for her life. She is naturally talented. And with that natural talent means she also needs some alone time. So Katy, I hope you're taking your alone time. I can't wait to hear from you. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks.
Hi. Thank you for having me, Katy. I'm so happy to meet you. This is awesome. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to see me today.
Oh my goodness. So, let's debunk that myth. Everyone says, "Oh, you're so busy, Katy. You have so many jobs, Katy. You do all of these things." I'm like, I'm a generator. I'm just having fun over here, right? I'm not actually busy. I get to create my own life.
Yeah, everything's play.
Yeah. So don't trust what you see online or what you think. You know what I'm saying? So
totally.
Gosh, I'm so excited about our conversation because your story, at least what I've learned over the last couple of days, preparing for this interview, is just that your story is about creativity, reinvention, really building resilience in yourself and learning for yourself what you need. We've been through a few of the similar tracks of life. And so I feel very much like I can relate to so much of what you have to offer in the world. And one of the things that stand out is just how you are looking at life in such a meaningful way, even after things fall apart, in spite of any circumstances that are coming up. You're embracing life. And so, gosh, you could probably tell 14 personal life stories and not be exaggerated on any of them. But I just want you to, from today, Katy, tell us about what your life is, your story, whatever you want to share. We'll kind of leave it open and go from there and see, where this takes us.
Sure. Wow. Well, your abridged analysis of my human design was spot on. I started to tear up. I'm like, how does she know me just from that? Wow, that's so true. I at a very young age remember, in fact, it's really funny. I remember one of my first childhood thoughts being, I have to listen to what they're telling me to do. I am not in control. I have to listen for a while. Like I need to just do, I have to comply. I have to do the thing. And then, childhood, going through all of that, kind of fast forward to my college years, I went to SIUE for music education. And I sat there and I thought, I don't want to take all of these prerequisite classes. I don't feel the need for this. I feel like it's a waste of time. It's a distraction from doing the work. So I didn't realize it until about 2 years ago I dropped out of college and started working full time. I fell in love with my ex-husband, started making babies. Boom, 15 years goes by. And the pandemic hit. I was working for a professional theater company, the Repertory Theater of St. Louis. I had also been working for O'Fallon Theater Works for 15 years, where I helped cultivate the community theater program there. And I was so sad. I was working at a restaurant, leading the training for the servers for my friend's restaurant. Everything stopped, right? The pandemic, everything stopped. And I had this beautiful, strong network of women. We were all in the Lake St. Louis Mothers Club together. I was on the board there. And we would Zoom call and we'd talk about our kids. We'd vent, we'd process, right? We'd drink our wine in our gardens. And one of my friends said, Katie, what are you like? I know you miss theater. I know you miss performing. You've been a musician for 20 years. Like, why don't you start coaching one-on-one? And I had this imposter syndrome. Oh, I didn't get my degree. Oh, I didn't get these credentials that society says I need to have, right? So I created these barriers for myself. And my friend said, hold on, beep, bonk, bonk. She's like digitally tapping me on the third eye. She's like, you've been a professional musician for 25 years. You have these credentials. You have this real life work history. So I slowly let that story dissolve and I started coaching one-on-one. I went from 2 clients to 16 clients and I was fully booked. And I started coaching one-on-one from home. And it was magical. I mean, I had directed plays on a big scale, musicals on a big scale where I'm coaching, I'm teaching music classes to babies, 6 months to 6 years, all of that. Like I'm bigger scale teaching. But once I started the one-on-one mentorship, I could really sit with the clients, with the students, and read into them. And I like to view them as this little ball of putty that I get to like mold and shape and be as impactful as possible with for every hour session or 30-minute session. And so that's when I really started to see that 19-year-old Katie dropping out of college, saying no to the system, no to teaching the way the school system wants me to teach, to a curriculum, to policing, to structure. By saying no to that and feeling like a failure for a while, it now has actually shown. Now I've seen that this is the true calling. Like I have no restrictions. I can meet clients where they're at. When I host my consultations with students and parents, I talk about how I'm a safe container. And sometimes my students, yes, they want to play guitar, they want to sing, they want to songwrite. I'm a published singer songwriter. Cool, we can do that. We can do that. Sometimes my middle school kids come in and they want to talk about their feelings. And so now in my consultations, I'm like, sometimes this may be a safe space and they may need another positive role model, and the parents are like, great, this is awesome. So it's been really beautiful to see that I knew all along what my purpose was, who I was, but there was like a 15-year chunk of time, maybe 20-year chunk of time where I was reprogrammed and I submitted to the societal norms and let others write my story. So it's really beautiful now to see that I've been holding the pen and I've been writing the book myself now over the last 3 years. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. The first person I started dating after my divorce, I met his mother and she said, you need to come with me to Maui. And I said, okay, cool. So 2 years later, I go with her to Maui and absolutely fall in love with the land and the culture and the space, the island life. And then I come back and I tell some girlfriends about this beautiful magical experience that I had, and they said, well, we need to go back soon. So we went back in May and I intuitively led a woman's wellness retreat. I was doing womb cleansing ceremonies. We stayed in this wonderful house on the North Shore in the jungle of Haiku, away from all the tourists, in a home that's owned by my friend Dr. Bonnie Marsh, and she's a naturopath. And so she has this beautiful office space that's got Tibetan singing bowls and like oxygen. She's just got all these beautiful tools right there. And so listened. We listened to each other. We listened to the island. We did different like energy work on each other. And then I just started saying, I host women's wellness retreats on Maui. And I felt it and I believed it. And then boom, I hosted another one. And then boom, I hosted one in November where there were 6 women. And I'm hosting and then this year in February, I hosted another one. And my mother reached out to me and she said, "Hey, do you still have space for your February retreat? I want to come." And it was every time I go, it's this nourishing, like soul quenching. I didn't even realize that crevice of my soul needed some light shined on it. Right. And so my mother and I had just a magical week together where we healed generational bond, like trauma bonds. We dove really deep into our inner child. We played, we did a somatics breathworks class together. We rested, we held each other, we cried together, we laughed together, which I hadn't done since I was a little girl, like, maybe middle school, high school. And I mean, I don't even remember having that much one-on-one time with her. It was really nourishing for both of us. And so then it came to me in meditation, I need to host a mother-daughter women's wellness retreat. So that's coming up in September, the 14th. I have space for 3 more mother-daughter combos. And then in November, I'm hosting another women's wellness retreat. And that's going to be a really deep dive. So we're going to focus on a lot of breath works, a lot of solo independent shadow work. And that's going to be at this beautiful eco retreat center up in Haiku in the jungle. It's called Haleakua Eco Retreat Center and Garden. So it's an organic garden. It's like this permaculture haven. And there's this gorgeous waterfall, and then you can see the ocean. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Over the last year, I've really been focusing on softening back into my feminine. I was married for 15 years. I felt like I needed to function in this like hyper masculine space. Like, I'm going to take care of this. I've got 4 kids. I've got it. You go work. I'm going to do this. I got it. I got it. I got it. Don't ask for help. Don't ask for help. Don't ask for help. Nose to the grindstone. I'm working. I'm coming home from work. He's leaving for work. It's just like go, 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 go. And so then when my divorce happened, I didn't know how to go from being a wife to a girlfriend to just dating to playing. And so I would meet people and I'd go on dates and I'd say, just so you know, I don't ever know if I want to be in a monogamous relationship again. Like, I just am here to learn about myself and have fun and play. Like, all I want to do is play. My kids come first, and so people are like, okay, well, then I realized that by doing that, by not rejecting, but just not being open to like one-on-one dating, I was hardening my heart and keeping away like deeper intimacy. So over this last year, I've dated for 2 years, had great experiences, fell in love so many times I can't even count. I mean, it's just been absolutely wonderful. But this last trip to Maui, well, actually in November, we had a relationship coach come with us. She was my co-facilitator, and she poked me a little bit. She did. She's like, "What are you afraid of?" And I'm like, "Ah." But anyways, my goal was to soften my heart and instead of create these expectations for anyone in my life, relationships, friendships, is to just be soft in my heart and open to receive whatever people have to give me in that moment of who they are, because we're all ever changing, right? We're aqueous, we're ever changing. So I've just softened and I'm just open to receive all of the love that the universe has for me. And I'll tell you what, ever since I did that, it's just like gushing blessings of love, and I'm never disappointed because like we said, like pre-prepping for this, you're like, what do you want to talk about? And I'm like, we'll talk about exactly what we're meant to talk about. I believe it, and so that's what I teach my clients, like one-on-one. It's like you can't mess up. Like, you cannot mess up. What is for you will not pass you by.
Right.
The most important thing that you can do for yourself is walk with your authenticity, pour into yourself. So that's really been what I've been telling my vocal coach clients, my guitar kids, my students that I teach, is just love yourself, find yourself, pour into yourself, and everything else is just, it's just easy from there. So softening my heart and then romanticizing every little moment of this luscious life. Like right now I'm looking outside and I live in Lake St. Louis and I've got these big, beautiful, mature trees. And I love watching how the sun will shine through the canopy and there'll be like these little glimmers of sun shining on the leaves. And there's like these different variants of green. And it's just like, it's mystifying. And I'm just so grateful
Mm.
to witness it. So just romanticizing and stopping to breathe in all of the beauty that's around us, because I feel like as humans right now in today's society we're like go 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 go, and so yeah, so that brings me to um re-regulation of nervous system, talking to my students about it, talking to my children about it, the importance of pausing, of grounding, putting your feet in the earth, the sun on your skin, taking a bath, lighting a fire, like all of these things that are so important to reconnect to our body, to get us out of this and back into our body. So yeah, all of the things. Thanks for listening.
Oh, can I just have permission to speak in response? I'm not sure if it'll be part of the
Yes,
podcast or not, but
sure.
um,
Please.
I'm almost overwhelmed just by hearing you talk. And I have your chart sitting right in front of me and whew, emotional too. So I just have so much and I don't know how to make it flow, but I just want to respond to some of the things you said. So first of all, the imposter syndrome that you were talking
Mhm.
about, felt that deeply. And I kept thinking like, of course, like as a two in the six lines, your two leads as your unconscious number. And this is natural talent, the hermit, and someone who started this lifetime with, you've already gone through the learning, becoming an expert, and you got to start this life almost ahead of the game in a way with the talent already in you. And so the way that you expand your talent and expand what it is that you're doing here, what you're good at, is simply by being in your own energy. And for you, every time you talk about the earth and you talk about the land, and now twice with Hawaii, it's I get my full like I have this intuitive gift that I've identified as my spleen saying confirmation. This is yes, this is right. It almost feels like a spiritual like, oh, there's a spirit in the room, but it's always just confirming what the person said. So with being a two, one of the things that we I'm a two as well. One of the things that we run into is that we feel like we know deep inside we don't need the credential, we don't need the certification,
Mhm.
we don't need to go to school for XYZ, whatever our natural gift that we've been gifted in this lifetime. However, one of the things that distracts us is, well, I have to so that people will pay me, I have to so that
Mhm.
me seriously, I need you. So you learn that naturally before you understood what a two was. And I think that's really neat. I also think it's just really fun to say most twos have some kind of fine art connection. They're creative,
Really?
they're singers,
Mhm.
they're dancers, they're artists. And so, I mean, you fit that bill for sure. And I just think this is so neat. How is this so true? It's just based on like, I mean, it's based on
Right.
ancient wisdom. Of course it's true,
Right.
but you don't even have to believe it. It's just like, this is such a fun validation.
Mhm.
So the other
Mhm.
thing you said in there, you were saying like, I took the pen, I started creating my story. I became the creator of my story.
Mhm.
And I just
Mhm.
wanted to validate not only that that is true, but also that whether we think we are or not, we are creating our story. Are the
Mm-hmm.
creators attracting the things that we want? We're
Mm-hmm.
creating the things, bad, good, and different.
Yes.
Listening to the system or not listening to the system. We actually are the ones with the pen. I think it is
Mm-hmm.
no coincidence. Let me grab my journal from today.
Mm-hmm.
I've been I've been doing a 28-day gratitude thing. One of my
Mm-hmm.
friends gave me this book from the last retreat that I spoke at. And I finally sat down. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to bed early and read a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is something I just committed to because I haven't done anything discipline wise in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it something fun, right?
There you go. Yes.
So this morning, there's one sentence so far on my journal
Mm-hmm.
says, I decide my purpose and my mission.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
we are not waiting to hear what is
Mm-hmm.
it that I'm here for? What is my purpose? Tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I remember as a child growing up, I would pray like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this the
Mm-hmm.
exact right thing? Because I
Yeah.
wanted to be
Right.
certain. And both of us share an open head and ajna center as well, which just means we feel the pressure to know. We feel the pressure to be right. We feel the pressure to know the right answer. And
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
lessons we must learn is, hey, the
Mm-hmm.
answer is not outside of yourself. And so
It's in you. Yes.
when you stop pretending, then
Mm-hmm.
things happen. But we are the creators of our story, no matter whether we
Totally.
take ownership or not. So
Well, and
that's
that's what clicked. Yeah, that's what really clicked over this last year. And I'm like, wait a second. If I'm holding the pen and I'm writing the story, why is this in my story? And so, boom, kick it out. Adios. Get
yeah,
out of here. Sweep, 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 sweep.
yeah.
And this is the beautiful reality. I look around and I'm like, I created this. I get to live this. Like, this is what I manifested living in this part of Lake St. Louis 15 years ago. My ex-husband said, we could never afford to live there. We could never. And I'm like,
The lake.
yeah, right by the
You know
lake. I mean,
what?
I can walk to the lake.
We might be the same person. Can you share a soul in two bodies? I don't even know. Okay.
Probably.
So, okay. So the other thing that I noticed in your chart as you were talking is you were starting to talk about how you want to soften into your feminine. And before we started talking, you're like,
Hmm.
lately has just been like, soften my heart, just go with it, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
And I can see where that would be quite the struggle or hero's
Hmm.
journey for you because I mean, are we pretty sure about your birth time?
Yes.
Okay,
My mother knows to the minute.
perfect.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then you are what they call a quad left, which is someone who learns and processes knowledge and manifests things very specifically, which is a masculine energy. Okay. So
Hmm.
structure, planning, this sort of thing, it is something that you need. What I think is mind blowing, and only human design nerds would get this. I don't think we really have any listening to the podcast, but I am. So and I just got fireworks on the Zoom.
Woo!
But your unconscious sun is the masculine energy. So we all have a sun placement based on the time that we were born. Your placement for the gifting that you gave through your soul is masculine energy, is the light you're here to shine. However, the thing that balances masculine energy is, of course, feminine energy. And so
Right.
it's not saying you have to be masculine, you have to be structured, you have to have that equal balance so that you feel rooted and grounded in who you are, embodied, the land, all of these things that you receive as a feminine. This is what's grounding you to shine the light of, hey, we can do this with effort in a different way than what maybe society is saying. It doesn't have to be hustle. I mean, it's just such a beautiful story that, when you show up as someone who listens and gives empathy to others, then you start shining the light of how one can balance that sun and moon energy, the masculine, the feminine. I'm talking about male and female, but the
Right. Totally.
and the receiver.
Right.
the putting out and the
Mhm.
taking in. So being able that's such a dominant theme for you. And then all of the things that you're doing, you're finding ways to balance for yourself, and therefore
Mhm.
you're empowering others to find it for themselves,
Yes.
right? And so your design is saying all of the tools that you have, you don't have to force people to do them. They will come to you when they see you
Mhm.
benefiting from them. When they see
Mhm.
your life and your balance, they're going to want to
Exactly.
be part of it. And I mean, that's what
Mhm.
I hear you saying. You're doing this.
Okay.
It's just so interesting. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to nerd out on human design so much, but way to go,
Yay. I
living
love it.
without having studied it. I mean, that's just case in point why I think human design is such a neat tool to have.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, thank you for. I had to get all
Yeah, thank
that
you for I love it. Every time I meet with, a different practitioner and I, dive deep with their craft, I'm like, yeah, I already knew. I already knew this. I already knew. I already knew this about myself, right? And it's just so freaking beautiful to have that confirmation of, like you
Yes,
said, it's within us.
that's
Everybody's looking for everything outside of us.
mm-hmm,
Nope. I am my best healer. Had a tear in my rotator cuff. I healed it.
mm-hmm.
I had a slight tear in my meniscus during my separation. I healed it, like physically, energetically, mentally. It's just, we are our own greatest healer. We just have to get everything out of the way so we can be open to receive the medicine,
Yeah,
whatever medicine it is.
yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I am on that bandwagon, and I just love, I think so much of the spiritual journey that I'm going through, that I've been going through, is
Mm-hmm.
really that really loud message of you're remembering. You're
Mm-hmm.
they call it spiritual awakening, and all it is like it's like this
Reconnection.
reconnection. I'm remembering who I am. I'm remembering what I'm
Mm-hmm.
here for, and I'm writing it down, or I'm taking action on. I'm creating the life that I always wanted.
Yeah.
The power was in me all along. Just beautiful. The other
Mm-hmm.
thing I wanted to have you share a little bit about, you have lots of in your tool belt as well, right?
Yes.
And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about how everything that you're doing, you're connected to a nonprofit, you've got a couple of, companies that you're working one-on-one with people. And I know you had a turning point within these last 5 years through the pandemic and all that, like things have really changed for you. But I'm just curious, like, being a creative, how do you see everything that you're doing connecting? And I didn't even mention retreats. Like, you literally have a huge list of everything that
I
you're
know.
doing.
It's
But
so hard to talk about me.
do you see them connected into one greater, like, here, if I could nutshell, this is what I'm trying to do, this is where I'm going. Do you have an idea of that?
Yes. Yes. It just came to me within the last year. No matter what hat I'm wearing, what costume I'm wearing, what part I'm playing, I am a mentor. I am I'm creating a safe space for people to explore themselves, and I am a safe space for them to reconnect to their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so awesome because all I have to do is be who I am. And by me walking fearlessly in my authenticity, it gives people who are ready for it and open to receive it, the courage and or the tools to then pour into themselves and say, who am I? What's my authentic path? What's my purpose? I work for my friend's restaurant 3 shifts a week. And so I work with a lot of 20-year-olds. And I've been leading these young college women just by being my authentic self, by choosing to be optimistic and looking at the glass half full and romanticizing, oh, I get to polish the silverware after my shift. It's like those little mindful language twists. I tell my students, oh, you get to practice this song this week. I get to pay my bills today. I get to pay my rent, and I get to stay in this house another month. Wherever I go, I'm a mentor, and it's a privilege. And then on the other side, I sat in meditation and I was lacking empathy. I I did 7 months of sobriety and celibacy all in one together, like, nothing outside of me. And I cried and I cried and I cried because I was lacking empathy for humans. I'm like, humans get this beautiful, perfect body, and then they just want to destroy it, destroy it, destroy it, destroy it. But I went to Maui on a solo retreat in September, and I went to this beautiful ceremonial space called the Temple of Peace. And it's essentially a church, and it's all religion, all everything you could ever want to explore is there. And they just get together and they celebrate life and love and the earth and the sun and the stars and everything. And this woman, she gets up, she's like, I don't know why I'm supposed to say this. Her name's like Precious Thunder. She's amazing. I think she was from the Lakota tribe, but I'm not sure. She says, but Spirit wants me to say that you need to remember, and she wasn't speaking to me, she's speaking to the whole audience. You need to remember that you were once in their shoes.
Mm.
And I was like, oh. And she just talks more about how to reconnect to that empathy. And so of course, I had to go to the bathroom after the service was over, and she's the only other person waiting for the restroom.
Mm.
And I said, your message was for me. And she said, I know. She said, I see you now. I know. And I was just able to soften my heart and love people no matter where they are. And not everyone is ready for me, for what I embody, what I bring to the table. And that's okay. And I use my discernment now. Anytime I would get a reading, I went to New Orleans with my kids last year, and I had this woman read my cards in the French Quarter. She said, you need to protect your light. I said, I know. So it's like using that discernment, right? Like how many times do I prepare a container for someone if they're not ready for it? So I've done a great job of paying attention to that when I need to. But yeah, mentorship. I'm here to be a mentor.
And you've hit on it lots of times. You being authentic to you is how
Mhm.
others are empowered. And that's very much the message of being a generator. What's best for you
Yeah.
is what's best for everyone else. The best way
Mm,
for other people is to take care of yourself. And so you're doing that. When you do that, it does support others.
yes.
I would love to talk at least briefly about nervous system healing,
Yes.
these retreats that you're doing, because a lot of
Mhm.
women that listen to this podcast, a lot of women that are in my sphere, the people that are attracted to working with me are the people that are on those similar journeys, probably to you and me.
Yeah.
And they're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling disconnected, burned out, emotionally exhausted, usually with a million
Mm.
kids like yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Can you to like, if someone is listening and they're like, oh, these Katie's, man, I want their life, right? But how can they know if, like, what are the signs someone would want to look for that their nervous system is just really seeking some support, that they might want to
Sure.
look into some of these tools that we offer?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think when I had 4 kids under the age of 6 or whatever it was, I was feeling like short fused, empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't feel like I could show up for my partner no matter how much sleep I got or exercise I was still just feeling short fused, agitated, restless, hormonal. I wrote it off to hormones. Oh, my period must be coming, whatever. So I started really looking deep into the 4 seasons of my cycle. So okay, I'm in my luteal phase, I'm in my follicular stage. So on my social media, I've been sharing like, what am I eating to support this ever changing body, the 4 seasons? Okay, right now I'm in my menstrual phase. I made this amazing meal with chicken sausage and sauerkraut. I needed fermented food. I like to explain how to nutritionally set myself up for success. And then, as far as re-regulating a nervous system, that's something that's very important. And there's so many easy, quick resets that we can do. Stepping outside in nature is my favorite. It's free. Taking deep breaths in through our diaphragm. There's different breathing patterns, box breathing we can do. I teach that to my kids, my students. I love my sound bowls. I have sound bowls, so I'll sit with them. It's so important. It's once I learned how to re-regulate my nervous system, it was easier, if not first nature, to settle into my feminine.
Mhm.
Um, it's this deep sense of submission, flowing and floating, which is, so feminine. I used to have this imagery last summer when I moved into this house. All right, I'm just going to throw my hands up and fling down the water slide. And that's how I visualize submitting, right? And so I go to the lake, and when the water's warm, which it's not quite there yet this year, I'll swim laps, right? I'll swim, I'll paddleboard, I'll kayak, I'll be in the water. I'm an Aquarius, but I love water. It grounds me. It just resets me. And so then I'm floating in the lake, and there's boats going by. So I'm like mindfully floating, but trying to keep my face above the gross lake water because it's still a
Oh,
lake, right? And I'm like, so I'm like floating, and I'm like, oh, wait. Instead of hurling myself down this water slide, what if I just trusted this beautiful container that's holding me and myself and my ability to discern when a wave is coming or when to just gently kind of push my face above the water line? And so then it turned into a more soft way of submission.
mm,
And as I softened and I softened and I softened, then I started attracting people on a higher frequency that were more in alignment with me, people like you, people, and it's just beautiful. I've attracted this beautiful partner he's strong enough to hold me, and just
mhm.
it's just so good. Just identifying that everything that we need, like you said, is within us, and listening to, oh, take a deeper breath. Like, take a deeper breath. It's right here. Oxygen's readily available for you at all times. Nature wants to bless you with its richness, its abundance. It wants to.
Wow. Everything you just said, like the last minute and a half or so, reminds me so much of the moon card in tarot, which has been kind of top of mind lately. I think I pulled it one time last week, and I've been doing readings, like mini readings at vendor fairs,
Mhm.
those retreats and stuff I've been on. So I've been doing very like, I have to say this really fast because I have 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And the moon card is a tarot deck that I have is this woman who has fallen into the lake, the ocean, whatever. And there's a dog and a wolf. One of them's safe and their best friend, their domestic friend,
Mhm.
and one of them is a danger. And
Mhm.
from underneath the water, everything's kind of murky, and she can't tell what's safe and what's not. And so when you're flailing around, right, and the water's not clear, you can't see, you can't tell,
Mhm.
you're freaking out, you're trying to control the water. And
Mhm.
it's when you surrender
Mhm.
and you start to float, the moon then can like beam into the water. And so now you know which way the surface is. And when the water is still, you can see clearly which one is safe and which one is not. And
Mhm.
it's just such a neat representation of
Mhm.
like the nervous system, right? Like when our
Mhm.
nervous system is spiked, nothing matters. When we
Mhm.
aren't feeling good, right? If we don't have our health, then
Mhm.
we can't clearly meditate and like
Yes.
find our way. We need that to settle at least a little bit to get those glimpses, and then you get better because it's a practice, right? And so that, I don't know why I said that, but that card is coming to mind. And the sometimes we can do it in these little practical ways, the free ways, right? Like I take my dog out every morning, shoes off. All right. Like
Mhm.
that's my commitment,
Mhm.
right? If I get a splinter in my foot from the stairs, I'll just have to deal with that. But
Mhm.
there are people out there that really need a container that feels safe to
Mhm.
settle. And I think retreats are a really nice way of
Mhm.
helping people understand what it feels like so that they can then start to consider that feeling when they're in their chaos back at home. Right?
Mhm.
The whole
Mhm.
thing is not about I think about what I want. It's about I'm visualizing, but because
Mhm.
I feel it, right? So sometimes
Yes.
we need to take ourselves out, especially if we're not doing it ourselves, or, we don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
force, which is what I run into all the time. I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
just keep feeling like I have to force myself to do all of the spiritual stuff. So that when I get to that point, like I gotta surrender, right? Take me out of
Mm-hmm.
the environment, help, like
Yeah.
I give me the support I need for a short time, but I think I hear you saying the same kind of message I do. I'm not here to hold your hand and do it for you all the time. I want to equip you with the tools and help you
Yep.
decide what are the tools that are going to support me. And then, then we
100%.
kick them out of the nest. You go do it because it's
Mm-hmm.
really about you empowering yourself.
Totally.
And that's kind of where I see the retreats coming in. So like who needs a retreat? And why would they? I know you've got a few coming up. You said you've got the September one with mom and daughter, and then we've got one coming up at the end of June that still has space. So can you talk a little
Oh,
about that as well?
yes, yes. So we have a local retreat here at Oasis Lakes Teaching Farm, and that is in Marthasville, Missouri. It is ran by Amy and Felix now. Amy is a horticultural therapist who works for 3 different school districts in the area. She's cultivated these awesome farms for the schools, for the kids. This is her farm near her home that's got a beautiful lake, obviously. It's got a greenhouse, it's got an outdoor classroom, it's got a little tiny home with a full kitchen. It's got a beautiful outhouse, and she's opened it up for us to camp there. So, this is the second retreat that I've hosted where I will be the culinary artist on site. I'll be in the fields harvesting food. I've sourced proteins from Jessica Walks Farm. She's one of our practitioners and retreat facilitators as well. She'll be providing beef and chicken from her farm. And then everything else will be sourced as local as we can. It'll be nourishing, it'll be supportive for what we're doing for work for ourselves. We're going to be doing a breathworks course. Nancy from the Float Spa, Serenity Now, will be hosting a hormonal and lymphatic support presentation for us. We've got 3 or 4 different somatic healers that'll be leading us in some ancestral opening and closing ceremonies, somatic awareness ceremonies. We've also got Kennedy physical and energetic self-defense course. You'll be doing your presentation. We also have sunrise yoga, and then we've got time on the water. So we're allowing lots of time and space for solo meditations, nature bathing in the forest around the lake. We were looking at the different programming that we have. And we're like, is 2 days enough time? Like we
I was going to say that is a long list.
I know. And then also, our friend Tina Burns right up the street has a harmonic egg, and she's opening up the harmonic egg for 90-minute sessions for only $30. So that's another sound frequency healing chamber that you can go into. So that's beautiful. It's an amazing space. And then Nancy will be talking about her health coaching that she offers. Kelly will be on site. She's going to do a photo shoot for each person during golden hour. And we're visualizing some sort of like wild woman, like
I love that.
nature embodiment headshots. And then Sunday, someone from the spa is also bringing a table so people can add on massage if they'd like. So it's just going to be pouring into each other. Oh, and then I've got Hillary Fitz is coming to perform after we do deep dive work during the day. We eat some nourishing food to ground us. In the evening, we're going to have a bonfire. We're going to have live music. We're going to have this like somatic dance experience underneath the almost full moon. We'll open it up. People can play drums. They can bring instruments and kind of just jam and let things out so we can make space for new on Sunday. So it's going to be great.
Where else can you sample so many healing modalities?
I
A place like that is
know.
so neat. So, okay, so if anyone listening is intrigued by anything that Katie just shared, there's very limited spots. We want to keep this very intimate. So
Yes.
check it out. I've got a link to, I believe, the Facebook thing where you can express
You
interest
haven't.
and stuff. And so
Yes.
I would jump on that right away. And it's the last weekend of June. So
Correct. Yeah.
I'm
27th, 28th.
so excited to be part of it for sure. Okay, well, I want to wrap up today's conversation with just a few like rando questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You can answer however you want. What part of your story do people usually see from the outside, but they either misunderstand, or what part of your story do people typically miss?
Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. I like to say that other people's opinions of me is none of my business.
Ah,
But
interesting.
I mean, what I would wonder is maybe they think I play too hard. I don't have this 9 to 5 job. I've got 4 kids. And what does she do? How does she travel so much? How is she living her best life? She burned it all down. And that's a lot of my clients find me right before they're going to go through like a major life-changing transformation. I'm a transformation doula is what I like to say.
Hmm,
Uh,
I might borrow
And
that.
so yeah. I try to like I tag it. I'm like, nobody uses this. What? So yeah, transformation doula. I'm here to help people realize that you can rewrite your story at any time. And it doesn't have to be scary. I am comforted by the idea of change. And I know a lot of people aren't. That's something I like to remind people is change is beautiful. It can be beautiful if you want to see it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of change, think back
Yes.
to what you would define healing as 6 or 7 years ago versus today. What's changed for you there?
Sure. I think 6 or 7 years ago, I thought the only healing modality would be talk therapy, right? Like that's talk therapy. That's how you heal. I had a miscarriage 14 years ago, and insurance covered 4 sessions with a therapist because
Wow.
that's what they decide is the right amount of time that you need to process when you lose a child.
Hmm.
And healing is not linear. It's a gift that can be visited at any time. And it doesn't always have to feel so painful or like work. It can be playing, it can be making eye contact with a baby in a restaurant. It's healing is precious and it's a gift and it's our responsibility. We're not responsible for what happened to us, but we are responsible for our healing. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege to heal and grow and be the best version of ourselves.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one more prepared question.
Okay.
Uh, your younger self, what would she be
Mm,
most surprised? What would shock her the most about where you are? Would she be proud? What would she say to you? And maybe what would you say to her?
what would I say to her? I would say, you can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that once you fall in love with yourself, then the rest of the world will too. And that's where you need to prioritize your time.
She would be very proud of you. Like
She would.
falling in love with yourself is so important. It's so important. Like
So important.
I mean, sometimes you have to start small, right? Like I fell in love with my hair. That was like the first
Mm,
physical thing I fell in love with.
mm,
Um,
yes.
and now if it's not every person that I meet, I love your hair, right? Because
Because you love your hair. Yeah. Once you have that love for yourself, then others can love you, right?
yeah, that's so beautiful.
hmm
Okay,
hmm
here's my last question. This is what all interviewees get.
Okay.
And so I want to leave a little bit of space. You can take a few deep breaths, you can close your eyes. I just want you to go inward and ask yourself, is there something that's unsaid? It doesn't have to relate to anything we've talked about, but maybe there's just something inside of you that you would just like to say, fitting or not. And I'd love to just give you that space to create a message
Hmm.
to wrap us.
Hmm. Hmm. It's a good question. I already said it. You cannot mess your life up. You cannot make a wrong choice. You hit the nail on the head when you said I'm a full body yes or a no. It's not even on. Like for me, I make decisions on the drop of a dime. Yes or no, immediately. And my logical brain friends are like, hello, you didn't put any data into that thought. And I'm like, I don't have to. Like, this is how it is in my person and my soul. So yeah, that's what I would say. Definitely. Because you can't mess up. What is for you will not pass you by.
Can't miss you. I love that.
Mm-hmm,
Beautiful
mm-hmm.
message. Well, thank you, Katy, for your story, for sharing vulnerably, for living your life out loud so that we can see it and be empowered. And I'm excited to connect this audience to you. All the ways that we can get in touch with Katy, they'll be in the show notes, and I'll keep that updated for you.
Thank you.
We'll get to see a few of our listeners there at the end of June for this amazing retreat. Tell me what the title of the retreat is one more time, because oh my gosh, there's
so this is the Aqueous Alignment's second wellness retreat at Oasis Lakes Teaching Farm. So it's an organic farm in Marthasville.
I can't wait to eat the food there. I'm so excited.
Yeah, the food's gonna be so good. Yeah, everything. It's gonna be good for our souls and our bodies. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Katy.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for being here. And thanks to our listeners for listening to the end. I hope that this inspired you. If it sparked anything inside of you, I hope that you'll go over to the free Facebook group, Inspired by Design with Katy Rupert. Tell us what you think, what you took away, and we'd love to have a conversation with you there. And if you have any questions for Katy or myself, make sure you submit them on our Google form, and I will answer them in a future podcast. All right, until next time, bye. Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katy Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.